Kakadosh Boker Tov. We're just continuing with the halachot of Kriyat Shema and the berachot of Kriyat Shema. To do with the berachot of Kriyat Shema, it's not like the Kriyat Shema. Kriyat Shema, we said on the last time that we calculated the 3 hours. Lecha Techila, we calculated from Alot Shachar, and it's 3 hours Zmaniot. That means we're going from dawn 3 halachic hours forwards. And then you had the second Shita, and that's why you have a second Zman of Kriyat Shema, which you're doing 3 hours from the Netzach Hama, which is the Gaon Vilna and the Shulchan Aruch Harav. To do with Berachot of Kriyat Shema, you have until the 4th hour. Now, to do with this 4th hour, there's actually going to be a machloket between Rav Ovadia Yosef and Rav Ben Zion Abba Shaul. Rav Ovadia Yosef says that since the Berachot of Kriyat Shema are D'Rabbanan, you could even lechatechila calculate the 4 hours from the Netzach Hama. However, Rav Ben Zion wanted to say no, that we also calculate the 4th hour from the time of the dawn and not from the time of sunrise. Obviously, it's going to give us a much different time frame. Now, why is it so important? Because there's going to be a beautiful chidush here that says as follows. Imagine right now a person is reading Kriyat Shema during the 4th hour. He still makes the bracha beforehand and afterwards, correct? He's obviously making the brachot. So says the Rav Pe'alim, the Ben Ish Chai, so since you're still reading it with the brachot of the Kriyat Shema, you are still mekayem the mitzvah of Kriyat Shema. But it's just not considered mitzvah min hamuvchar. However, the Pri Chadash wants to say that you missed the mitzvah completely, which means like this. Usually the way that we learn it is that after 3 hours into the day, right, you lost the mitzvah. Now it's not the mitzvah of Kriyat Shema anymore. It's Kekoreh b'Torah. You're reading the Torah. You're doing a mitzvah of reading the Torah, but you missed the mitzvah of Kriyat Shema bizmana. Right? That's the simple explanation. However, though, the Ben Ish Chai now is saying, no. If right now you're allowed to read the berachot of Kriyat Shema until the 4th hour, which means that you're still doing Kriyat Shema. So even though you're reading the Kriyat Shema, you have another extra hour, you are still mekayem the mitzvah of Kriyat Shema. Because in the fact that you're still making the berachot of Kriyat Shema, so therefore you're fulfilling the mitzvah of Kriyat Shema. It's not mitzvah min hamuvchar, it's not the best, obviously, but you are going to fulfill the mitzvah of Kriyat Shema. That is the shita of the Ben Ish Chai. Very interestingly enough, last time we mentioned that we're going to make a condition. What exactly is a condition? For example, what happens if we come to the second minyan on Shabbat? And this happens in a lot of the synagogues around the world if you're not going to pray nets. So therefore what happens is, Shachrit will be, whether it's going to be 8:30, 8:45, 9, it doesn't matter what the time of the Shachrit is, you're missing the first Zman of Kriyat Shema. Why? Because Kriyat Shema is 8:45 here in Miami right now. So therefore, and the second one is going to be later on. So how do you do it? So obviously you have to read the Kriyat Shema before Shachrit. But now technically speaking, it's not the most lechatechila. Why? Because, right, you're supposed to read the berachot of Kriyat Shema with Kriyat Shema. Meaning, there's a concept of Kriyat Shema, and then there's the concept of Kriyat Shema with the berachot. It was instituted with the blessings, and therefore you should read it with the blessings. So here what we tell people to do, if you remember, was to make a condition. What does that mean? When you're going to read the first Kriyat Shema, you're going to say, if the halacha is like the first Kriyat Shema, so right now this is my Kriyat Shema. If the halacha is like the second one, so for right now, I'm just reading the Torah, and the second one, when I'm going to be reading it with the berachot of Kriyat Shema, that's going to be my Kriyat Shema. So by doing that, you're actually fulfilling your obligation, according to the different opinions, was you're making a condition in order to get out of the problems of reading the Kriyat Shema with the berachot. Obviously, this just shows us how important it is that we should try to say Kriyat Shema in the proper time, because look what it is, the greatness of the mitzvah that we have, right, that when we're actually saying it in the proper time.